Hello YouTube, today I have a mail call. As you can probably guess, these came off a Yahoo auction. So first I'm going to look at some base metal coins, then we'll do the junk silver, and then we'll finish up with an interesting piece of bullion that's kind of more significant for bullion history, I guess we could say. So these base metal coins actually came in a pack of pure silver coins that I'm actually going to do a video on later. So this first one is actually pretty recognizable to me. This is a $1 coin from Taiwan, so this would be the new Taiwan dollar. It was issued in year 49, so that's on the ROC calendar. So just like the imperial calendar, they started when the government was formed. That's pretty traditional among a lot of Asian calendars. You see that here in Japan, where it becomes a new era with each emperor. So this one is from 1949, so that's 1960. That would be the first year these were minted. And they made 321 million, a little over that. And in fact, they made so many they didn't mint this coin again for 10 years. So it wasn't minted again until 1970. Alright, next up we have from Indonesia. So this is 50 rupiah. So 1971, rupiah, 50, Bank of Indonesia. This coin was only made for this 1 year, and it shows a bird of paradise, which is a pretty cool bird actually overall. So they made over 1 billion of these. So this is another very common coin. Next one, we have a $1 Hong Kong dollar from 1978. They made 120 million of these. So these were actually minted not in Hong Kong, but in the UK at the Royal Mint. And this is Grandma's second portrait, when she was much younger, much more spry. And then our last base metal one here, we have a 101. Sorry, upside down, 101 from South Korea, 1975. So it shows 100, and on this side it shows Admiral Yi Sun-shi. He was alive from 1545 to 1598. He's a national hero in Korea, and this coin they made in 1975. They made 75 million of them. Now we're going to move on to the junk silver. So let's start with this one. This one is 20 centavos. It's from the Philippines. It was minted in 1945. So this would be during the United States government, so the U.S. Commonwealth. This is 75% silver. You can see on this side, Liberty with the hammer and anvil. She's in the flowing dress. Mount Mayon is in the background, the volcano. It's actually a really nice design. These coins actually, from what I was reading, ended up staying in circulation until the 1960s. Now, originally, this design of coins was produced in Manila before World War II, and it would have an M mint mark. However, by 1945, production moved to the United States, and so you can see a D mint mark, and that means that it was made at the Denver Mint. Almost looks like it has an S mint mark too. So they were made at the Denver Mint. So approximately 90 million of this coin was made. Now some of them, about 7.5 million, ended up being produced in 1946, but marked with 1945 because, you know, sometimes it takes a little longer to make things. Next up, we have a coin from Germany. So this is from 1972. This is the West German government, and it's commemorating the Olympics at Munich, Germany. It's 62.5% silver. So if we turn on the other side, we can see right there is a D above the eagle's claws. So that tells us that this was made at the Munich Mint. And so the production would have been 4.85 million coins. Not the most pure coin, but it's got a cool design with the eagle and the fire over the Olympic rings. Next up, we have a coin from Sweden. So here we have King Adolf Gustav VI. Sorry, other way around. Gustav Adolf VI. So this was the King of Sweden. This coin was made in 1963. It's 1 kroner, and it says, I'm going to butcher this, Plankton Framfor Alt, duty before all. So this coin was produced in 1963. It's 40% silver, so it's actually not that much silver, and so it's actually noticeably lighter than some of the other coins that we've been talking about. Next up, we have a quite old, but it's not our oldest example here. It is from the Russian Empire from 1900. It is 15 kopecks. So I'm not quite sure what happened to this side. It looks like, I don't know, like there's paper stuck there or glue. I tried like rubbing it off, but it didn't quite work. Anyways, this is a 1900. So it would have been Nikolai II, who was the last emperor, or the last Tsar. The mintage would be a little over 12 million. And you can see right here, so this is the mint mark for St. Petersburg. And if we turn it to the other side, under the eagle, right there. So that would be the mark of the mint master, who at this time would be Felix Zellman. About over 12 million were made. It is 50% silver, and kind of an interesting coin. Kind of wonder how it got here, if this was something that came back in somebody's pocket during the Russo-Japanese War. An interesting fact about this coin is that a small number of these in 1916 were actually minted in Osaka. And with those ones, come on, focus, the mint mark would be missing. Next stop is Canada. So we have a Canadian quarter, 25 cents, 1959. So this would be 80% silver. They made 13.5 million of these. And they were made by the Royal Canadian Mint. Here we can see Grandma, Queen Elizabeth II, looking quite young. She would have been only 27 in this portrait. Now for Australia. So this one is 50% silver. This is a shilling from 1960. So a shilling is 1/20th of a pound. This coin would be 50% silver, and it's pretty common. They made 14.5 million of these. The ram is kind of cool. Now we're going to go to Guatemala, 25 centavos. Actually a really cool design. I'm going to talk about her a little bit. So here we are, Republic of Guatemala. So it tells you right here it's 72% silver. It was made in 1960. So that was the first year that this design was used. So let's talk about this woman here. Her name is Ramirez, and she's actually a Aboriginal. I don't remember what group she's from. But basically in 1959, they went around the country looking for the most beautiful Indigenous women to put on their money. So she was alive from 1942 to 2021. So she passed away relatively recently. She actually went on to become an activist and well-known in Guatemala. And so she was 17 at the time they decided to put her on the money. Mintage on this coin in 1960 was 560,000. Now what's interesting is that they were minted with two different alignments. They could be aligned like this, like this one is, or they could be aligned like this, which it's not. Our last junk silver coin is a bit of a mystery. We have a date here. It looks like 1873. And we can't see much. Now, it looks like a ROM. I believe this is a Romanian coin. However, it is very, very worn. It looks like a Romanian coin. Looks like it's 1873, which would either be the 1 lev or the 2 lev. But I can't read here. I guess the 2 lev would be bigger. I'd have to look it up, the size. This would be 83.5% silver. The 1 lev had a mintage of 4.4 million, and the 2 lev had a mintage of 262,000. So most likely this is a 1 lev. This is really, it's slick. It's silver. It's slick. It's slick silver. Our last coin is a pretty interesting piece of bullion. So here is a 1981 onza. So this coin, I've seen a lot of people get confused about it. So onza means ounce. Ta-da! Now the coin is 0.925. However, if you look down here, the weight is 33.625 grams. So some people look at this part and be like, oh, 1 onza, so it's not a troy ounce because it's 1 ounce total, so it's a little under an ounce, troy ounce. And then some people look at this, 33.625, and be like, oh, well, it's more than an ounce. No, it's 1 ounce of silver. It just has to be heavier because there's more non-silver in it. For some reason, well, gold coins like the American Gold Eagle and the Cougaran, people usually don't have a problem understanding this, but I've even seen experienced stackers get really, really confused when looking at this coin, probably because they only look at one or the other, and then be like, oh, how does that work? Anyways, it's a total of 1 ounce of silver in here. So these were made in the Mexico City Mint. Actually, a really nice coin. They were made from 1978 to 1980, and the actual value of them was 1 troy ounce. Now, Mexico also really did this in the 1940s. This was very, very early silver bullion. Mexico produces a lot of silver, so it makes sense. This coin, 1980, was basically the second to last silver bullion by Mexico that was in sterling. They made one more in 2000 as a special for the new millennium. After this, they switched to 0.999 fines, and this is when the Libertad started. So the onza predates the Libertad. Now, taking a look at it, we actually see a press that would have been used for making coins. That's what this is. It's a coin press. Now, back in the old days, it was literally somebody had to turn screws. They eventually mechanized that, but the same idea. And then the 2 plates here, the flechette or blank is put here. One plate comes down, squeezes into the plate on the bottom, makes the imprint for the coin. They later mechanized this part of the process so somebody wasn't doing it by hand. This created a much more consistent strike than earlier technology such as hammered coins. And then on this side, we see a scale. The type of scale that would be used for measuring weights. Overall, pretty fun coin. I'm glad to get one. The price was great on this, actually. If I found more at that price, I'd be stacking lots of those. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you've learned something. So, if you could give me a thumbs up, if you could subscribe, if you haven't subscribed already, and if you could go down to the comment section. Maybe tell me what you think this is. I mean, it's a fun mystery. Go down in the comments, give me your guess. And tell me which one of these coins is your favorite. And I will see you in the next one.